All right, and following Friday's sports wagering action, I'm 4-1 in my last $5.99 daily best plays on BrockPage.com. $1,000 bettors are up over $2,600 during that stretch, and the link for that personal bet is in the description section below. It's just $1.99. We're also 5-2 in our last 7 extra daily picks on that very same webpage. And the extra daily pick is just $2.99, and the link for both of those packages is in the description section below. All the picks out that I give out on my website are my personal bets, games that I personally have action on. So if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on this channel that I'm actually betting on personally, the best way to do that is to sign up for a package on my website at BrockPage.com. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and begin. We're a little bit too high up there. There we go. We're going to start off with the Kraken taking on the Rangers, 1 o'clock Eastern start time on Sunday, January 30th, 2022. New York's minus 235 with the total at 6. Igor Shesterkin for New York, Chris Driedger for Seattle. Now, Driedger got the W in just 3 out of 9 starts this year. 318 goals against average, 896 save percentage. Seattle's in the bottom 5 in the league in goals allowed per contest. And they're also winning just 27% of their games away from home. Meanwhile, offensively on the other end of the ice, the Kraken scoring only 2.6 goals a game. And they're also in the bottom 3 in offensive shots on goal. They're taking on a Ranger team who does a pretty nice job of keeping the puck out of the net at home. They're actually in the top 10 in fewest home goals allowed. Igor Shesterkin is 20-5 thus far in the year, with a 210 goals against average and a 936 save percentage. Meanwhile, offensively, Chris Kreider, he still leads the NHL in goals with 31 of them. And speaking of scoring, the Rangers are currently in the top 10 in offensive goals per contest. Now, injury-wise, Nemeth, Chaitol, and Kakko are questionable for New York. Meanwhile, for Seattle, Soucy is out. Oleksiak is questionable. And when it comes to the total in this one, Seattle 6-2 to the under in their last 8 contests. Meanwhile, the Rangers are 12-7 to the under at Madison Square Garden. 64% to the under overall for the season. I'm going to lean toward New York minus 1.5 and the under 6 goals. Next contest, Kings, Penguins, 1 o'clock Eastern puck drop. Pittsburgh's the $2 favorite in this contest here. Tristan Jarry for the Penguins, Cal Peterson for Los Angeles. Now, Peterson's winning in 63% of his starts this season, and he also has a .265 goals against average. Now, the Kings are limiting their competition to just 28 shots on goal a game, and they currently find themselves in the top 5 in fewest road goals allowed. And speaking of shots on goal, LA's averaging nearly 36 shots a game on the offensive end of the ice. Adrian Kemp has 18 goals on the season and 26 total points. Meanwhile, Anze Kopitar leads the club in points with 38 of them himself. Now they're taking on a Pittsburgh squad who lost their last 2 straight. And they're cashing in on the puck line in just 40% of their home games. Now the Pens also give up a lot of goals late in games. They actually find themselves in the bottom 5 in the NHL in third period goals allowed at home. So with all that said and done, I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Kings plus 1.5, keeping this one close and getting the job done for some puck line cash. All right, next contest I have for you. It is going to be Sharks versus the Hurricanes, and that's going to be a 5 o'clock Eastern start time. Now, Carolina is currently the $2.35 favorite at home. Antti Ranta expected for the Canes. James Reimer possible for San Jose. And I'll tell you this much. Despite some pretty good numbers out of James Reimer this year, the Sharks did lose 4 out of their last 6 contests, and they're averaging only 28 shots on goal a game on the road. Now, they're taking on a Carolina team who won 5 out of their last 6 themselves, and they actually scored 4 goals or more in all but one of those contests. Sebastian Aho, he leads the club right now in goals with 19 of them. The center also has 44 total points on the year. He's also a plus 14 when he's on the ice. A lot of good things happening when Aho is on a shift. Meanwhile, Andrei Svechnikov scored 14 times this season himself and also has 22 total assists. Now, Carolina is currently in the top 10 in scoring on average per game. Meanwhile, defensively on the other end of the ice, the Canes allow only 2.4 goals per contest, and they're also in the top 3 in defensive shots on goal. Antti Raanta got the W in 5 out of his last 7 starts when it comes to the goaltending here. He's got a .235 goals against average, .908 save percentage. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Carolina, laying the goal and a half, getting the job done on the puck line. Next contest, it is going to be Bruins versus the Stars, 7 o'clock East. Boston's minus 120, totals 5.5. Tuukka Rask, possible for the Bruins, not confirmed, but possible for the Bruins. Jake Oettinger for Dallas. Now, Oatsy's 10-4 on the season with a .253 goals against average and a .910 save percentage. The Stars got the W in 4 out of their last 5 outings, and they're limiting their opponents to just 28 shots on goal a game at home. Now, scoring-wise, Rupa Hintz and Joe Pavelski, they each have 19 goals respectively on the season. Hintz is also a plus 15 when he's on the ice. Pavelski's a plus 14. Now, they're taking on a Boston team who's struggled to score late in games. And as a matter of fact, Boston is in the bottom 10 in third period scoring on the road. They also lost 3 out of their last 6 contests, and they allowed 4.4 goals a game during that span. Now, injury-wise, Foligno and Frederick, they are all still out, and definitely Grelchek is questionable. And when it comes to the total in this one, Boston saw 7 out of their last 10 meetings with the Stars fall under the posted number. Meanwhile, Dallas is 60% to the under on their home ice. I'm going to lean toward Dallas plus $1 and the under 5.5. Next matchup, it is going to be Columbus versus Montreal, 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop. Now, the Columbus Blue Jackets are minus $1.25 on the road here. Joonas Korpisalo for Columbus, Caden Primo for Montreal. And I'll tell you what, as rough as Primo's had it in his last handful of starts, we are looking at a Montreal team who's played pretty good defensively against Columbus in recent meetings. As a matter of fact, the Habs held Columbus to just 2.8 goals a game in their last 10 contests together. So this might be a game where Primo, maybe turns it around and shows some good stuff out there. Now, when the Canadiens do play at home, they're actually in the top 10 in fewest goals allowed per contest. Now, they're taking on a Columbus team who lost 3 out of their last 4, and they actually struggle on the road. As a matter of fact, the Blue Jackets won 7 out of 19 road games. That is it. And they're allowing nearly 37 shots on goal a game when they travel. And I'll tell you what, that's certainly bad news for Joonas Korpisalo because he's gotten the W in just 5 out of 13 starts this season and has a .389 goals against average. Now, I'm not done with Korpisalo yet. Equally as bad, Joonas has a save percentage of just .884, so kind of a rough year here for Korpisalo. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the underdog Montreal Canadiens plus 105, winning this one outright for some money line cash. All right, next contest I have for you, it is going to be Wild versus the Islanders, 7:30 Eastern tip-off. Minnesota's minus 130, totals 5.5. Cam Talbot for the Wild, Semyon Varlamov for New York. And although Varlamov doesn't have a ton of wins in the net, he's still doing a pretty nice job of keeping the puck out. He's got a .261 goals against average coming into Sunday's start. He's also got himself a respectable .915 save percentage. The Isles got the W in 7 out of their last 10 contests, and they also allowed just 2.6 goals a game. This is an Islanders organization who's really taken great pride in their defensive play over the past handful of seasons. They've been really good defensively. Now, they're leading the NHL in fewest second period goals allowed as well. Just figured I'd throw that out there. They're taking on a Minnesota club who's, I can't really knock them. They are having a solid season all around, but they have run into some problems defensively on the road. Not many, but there is just one piece that I want to just cover here. Minnesota's allowing 34 shots on goal a game when traveling this year, and they actually tend to give up the majority of their goals in the first period. So certainly think about that, especially if you're into prop betting. Maybe you want to fire a first period prop. But anyway, injury-wise, Bjugstad and Merrill are still out indefinitely. Meanwhile, for the Isles on the other side of things, Pulak is still out for them. And when it comes to the total in this one, New York's 14-5 to the under on their home ice. Meanwhile, Minnesota saw unders recently with the Rangers, Washington, and Boston. I'm going to lean toward the New York Islanders plus $1.10 and the under 5.5. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup of the show. It is going to be Sabres versus the Avalanche, 8 p.m. Eastern start time. Now, Colorado is currently the heavy $4.50 favorite on their home ice in this one. Darcy Kemper possible for Colorado. Dustin Tokarski possible for Buffalo. He's not confirmed. Still coming off that COVID list. But anyway, Dustin's lost 5 out of his last 9 starts. And he also has a .328 goals against average. Now, the Sabres are allowing 38 shots on goal a game when they travel. And they've also gotten the W in just 30% of those road games. Now, they're taking on a Colorado team who's on a 9-game winning streak themselves. And they've been virtually unbeatable at home. As a matter of fact, the Avs are currently 19-2 with an overtime loss at the Ball Arena. And that's good for over 86% in that category. The Avs are amongst the best scoring teams in professional hockey, and they're led by Mikko Rantanen, who scored 22 times and has 51 total points. Now, Rantanen is also a plus 24 when he's on a shift. Meanwhile, Nazem Kadri's second in the NHL in assists and third in the league in total points himself. Now, injury-wise, McKinnon, Murray, and Byram are still out indefinitely for the Avs. Meanwhile, for Buffalo, Quinn and Butcher are questionable. Oposo, Jurgensens, and Miller are still out indefinitely. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Colorado minus 1.5, getting the job done on the puck line. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap, powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we are 4-1 in our last 5 $1.99 daily best plays. I like the Rangers minus 1.5 under 6 goals. Give me the LA Kings plus 1.5, getting the job done on the puck line. I like Carolina minus 1.5, getting the job done for some puck line cash. Give me Dallas plus $1 under 5.5. I like Montreal plus 105, winning that one outright. I also like the New York Islanders plus $1 under 5.5 goals. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are also 5-2 in our last 7 extra daily picks on brockpage.com as well. I'm going to lean toward Colorado minus 1.5, getting the job done on the puck line. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today on my website, just keep in mind you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. I always tell folks that, the earlier in the month you sign up for a package, the better it is for you. And guys, if you end up, thinking about, buying my board member tier package, just keep in mind board members get access to every single pick that I give out on that website all the way through the end of January as well. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Saturday or Sunday to you, depending on when you're watching this. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.